Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And a splendid morning to you. This is Newsline. We are live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And this is the new format for Newsline. We are up and running for 45 minutes to popular demand, I believe. Now then, this morning we've got somebody to tell us what the future may hold. What can we expect? Many promises being given by all sorts of, by all the candidates. And I thought we'd ask our guest. Our guest is here all the way from the Uva province. He's right here, Governor Maitri Gunaratne. Very good morning to you, Governor.
Good morning, Faraz.
But you're dressed up as in your other capacity as a lawyer this morning.
Does it matter?
Doesn't really matter, because what is that Shakespeare said, or something about the rose and all that business, what's in the name, or in the dress for that matter. But I thought I'd ask you about the future. What we, the country, the people, can expect from the future. We have a presidential election right around the corner. Soon after that, perhaps a parliamentary election. Everybody in Parliament seems to have forgotten that small matter, the provincial council elections, and it appears to be stuck in some legal rut. And yesterday, candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa, flanked by his brother, the former president, had a press conference, and in there, candidate Rajapaksa for the presidential candidate, he said that why so many questions about the past? Ask about the future.
Yeah.
I thought that made sense.
Definitely.
So what is the future? What can we expect?
Faraz, if you take the two main contenders, that is Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Mr. Sajith Premadasa, both of them have shown a lot of commitment towards the country and the development of the country.
Right.
But there is one problem which is lurking in my mind, is the people that surround them, surround both of them.
Okay.
So, per se, both the candidates, I think they have got a good idea as to how they want to run the country in the future. But whether they are going to make use of these people who are around them is the million-dollar question.
Or is the million or the billion-dollar question the other way around? Are the people around them, will those people love these people to do their job?
Both ways, no, Faraz. It's the same thing.
Ultimately,
it's the same thing.
Okay.
So, if these two candidates, any of these two candidates can shed the past, I would say, garbage they are carrying, then we are in for a good deal.
Okay.
Good deal. Because, I mean, I would say that in fairness to Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, he has done what was given to him efficiently, and he has proved to be a person who can do a job of work.
Yes.
Vis-a-vis with Mr. Sajith Premadasa, as the Minister of Housing, eyes closed, he is the only minister, I think, in this whole Yapal Nagar.
He is a match winner.
He is the only one who produced results.
Yes.
Right, so
that's actually true, isn't it? Because the last 4.5 years, he's quietly got on with it.
He did his work. So and he didn't try to interfere with other people's put his nose into other people's businesses. He did what he had to do. So both these contenders have proved that they can work.
A track record of delivery.
So there is a track record of delivery. But the issue is, who is going to make use of the garbage or the baggage or the garbage they are carrying? So they will have to come and make maybe a public declaration as to what they are going to do, because that is worrying the general public of this country. That is worrying the independent or the undecided voter as to how they are going to run once or if they are appointed.
That's right, because they all both sides, both the mainstream party candidates, candidate Premadasa, candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa, they both are associated with those that surround them are rather, most of them are questionable.
Their reputations stink to high heavens.
Their reputations stink to high heaven. That's true. Some of them are out on bail.
That's right.
Right? And I know that that's the whole principle of the law, is that you're innocent until proven otherwise. But nevertheless, with these sort of cases hanging over their heads, it's a bit like the Damocles sword. And then this is the other thing. What would happen? That's all part of talking about what we can expect future. What would happen to the cases against, let's say, candidate Rajapaksa wins? What will happen to the cases against the president?
There is no immunity against it.
Right.
So
the law carries on?
The law carries on.
Okay.
And I would say that our judiciary has been able to be somewhat independent during the last 4-5 years, and I hope that independence is taken forward during the next 5 years, and the judicial structure will maintain that impartiality and get more people to get more confidence in the judicial system.
Now that you mention impartiality and independence of the judiciary, how does one balance that with the statement made by candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa at Anuradhapura, that come the 17th of May he will acquit and discharge those being charged with sort of war sort of transgressions, war crimes, if you like. Was that just a bit of a political flourish? Because obviously, if the president was to interfere in an ongoing judicial process,
there is no way that any person in this country, including the president, can interfere in an ongoing judicial proceeding.
Right.
It has to be concluded.
Right.
And it has to reach its finality.
Right.
That is, it has to ultimately the Supreme Court. Now, any criminal matter, the ultimate deciding body is the Supreme Court.
Right.
So once the Supreme Court will say has reaffirmed the conviction,
right,
then it can be referred to the president for pardon.
That is using the clemency that the president
has. So even that process, it is sent to the Attorney General's department. The views are called for, and there is a procedure.
There is a committee there. It's not a solo decision.
It is not it has not been a solo decision. So this may be political rhetoric which they are saying on stage.
Yeah.
But practically, I can't see any candidate stopping any proceeding and telling the accused to go home.
So that was, let's put it down to a bit of political flourish.
I think.
To be fair,
because he has no power to do that.
Right, and I'm sure
if he is going to come and do that, I mean, that is not what anyone is expecting.
No, and I'm sure he knows the rules too.
Definitely.
All right. So, what does this mean then? But I just wanted to say something while you were saying this, that there's a committee and with the Attorney General's department and so on, and it's not the executive president making a decision solo. How ironic that when it came to the central bank and the bond matter, the governor of the central bank made his decision to increase the value from 1 billion to 10 billion all on his own. Solo. It was a solo misadventure, acting at the Prime Minister's confirmation that he insisted on the change and he wanted this, and so Governor Mahendran acted solo. You see, can you see the irony of this?
Definitely.
The president, the executive president with all those powers, accepting to change the gender of a human being from male to female or the other way around. can't act solo when he wants to give clemency.
No, for us, not that he can't act solo when he's using his discretion.
Yeah.
But basically, what has happened is they call for some kind of observations.
Yeah.
And they want to, I would say, buttress their decision
Yeah.
on some kind of legality or some kind of injustice which has taken place in the process. So, I mean, which is a very good practice.
Yeah.
Which is a very good practice. I mean, even if the central bank issue,
Yeah.
if the governor
Yeah.
at that point, without going into a open decision,
Yeah.
unilaterally going into a decision and taking the decision to increase it by 1000%,
Yeah.
if he had consulted a group of persons, maybe in the central bank,
Yeah.
maybe in the central bank, the monetary board or whoever it is who
Yeah.
is in charge of it,
Yeah.
it would have been a more what do you call responsible and
Yeah.
balanced.
Yeah.
But
the
this
Monetary
is-
Law Act
no,
envisages that.
they are correct. But here for us, what happens is the intention was to fraud.
Right.
Basically, the intention was to fraud, because when they floated it,
Yeah.
they said it's only for 1 billion.
Correct.
And we'll say for us, now we'll say if you are going to tender
Yeah.
for building of houses,
Yeah.
I mean the price for one house
Yeah.
and the price to build 10 houses are certainly different.
Right.
So what they did was, they said that they are going to only quote for one house,
Yeah.
but some people knew that they are going to quote for 10 houses.
Right.
So then that those some people who knew about it, their quotations were based on the 10 houses they are going to get.
Yes.
So automatically they become competitive.
Yeah. Okay.
Automatically they become competitive.
Yeah.
So therefore it was a premeditated plan to defraud.
Now then, so the several questions are here. Thank you for sending us your questions by SMS 0772 300 305. Card coming up on your screen. We are, of course, in conversation with Mr. Maitri Gunaratne, who is an attorney at law, who's President's Counsel, but he's also the governor of the UVA. Now then, many questions, and these are the questions that we actually get them. So we are only asking questions that the public want answers to. One of those here is, it says here, will the Chief Justice be changed if the Rajapaksas come? Please ask your guest.
There is no way that the Chief Justice can be changed until he finishes his term.
What happened to Shirani?
No, Shirani Bandaranaike was a different issue. That was a total that was a disaster at that time.
Yeah.
But
Will these disasters happen again, like landslides and everything else?
well, those will happen. Landslides and tsunamis can happen.
Yeah.
But I don't think for us now in the future this type of what happened to Mrs. Shirani Bandaranaike is going to happen, because I think they have paid a heavy price for that by doing that kind of thing.
Right.
The previous regime,
Yeah.
I mean, they were so confident that they will win the 2015 election.
Yeah.
And they did not know that by doing various arbitrary and illegal acts,
Yeah.
not one, many of them, they paid the price for it.
But as a lawyer, how do you condone the presidential ability to dispense clemency and leniency, if you like, but clemency in cases of murder? And murder is premeditated under our law, and so there's a question being asked. Actually, I don't think it's fair to.
No, for us, what happens is this: with all these laws in place,
Yeah.
there is a slight possibility of a miscarriage of justice to take place.
Right.
Right. And for instance, I mean, all these have been based on the police being impartial,
Right.
the investigation being impartial,
Right.
the process being impartial,
Yeah.
the decision making in the judicial in courts being impartial. Now tell me, what of these is impartial? Is the investigation impartial? Is the police impartial? So, I mean these factors can certainly be manipulated, because
And
my,
so, and therefore,
my contention is, for us, the police is not 100% impartial. Police is corrupt, most of them, right? So at a crucial place, money can change hands, and what they write in the police book can change.
can I ask you this? I think we can agree that everybody in the country knows that, as far as the police is concerned, historically at any rate, that it may be better now, but these are all little caveats. But anyway, everybody knows that they can get away with something with the police. They can do something.
Yeah.
Something can be done. So in that same line, what about the judicial system? Can they buy judges, magistrates?
There are instances which has happened,
Yeah.
and you cannot rule out a situation
Yeah.
where that will not happen in the future. After all, human beings.
Because there was this judge, wasn't there, who released, I think it was Mr. Sumatipala, who released him on a poor day.
So
Using when the
this
court
has
was
happened
closed.
in the past.
Yeah,
It will happen now. It can happen in the future.
right.
So those are things, for us, you can't rule out. So that's why I am saying
Yeah.
that there is a possibility that an innocent man can be hung.
Yeah.
There is a possibility.
So that you're
Yeah.
talking about the death penalty now,
Yeah, the death penalty and the ability for the president to pardon.
right?
So
can he only pardon where the death penalty is concerned?
no, he can pardon
Anyone.
Now, for instance, Venerable Jnanasar,
Yeah.
there was no death penalty,
Yeah.
but it was a far less. It's a 6-year imprisonment,
Yeah.
but he was pardoned.
So why have this whole judicial system then? Why, if
I suppose you need it for us, for a country or a democracy, for a civilized society
but
to
surely,
function.
as a lawyer, and if you passionately pursue the case, and got a conviction, and there's some closure for the victims in that sense, then only to find that the president has used his clemency. What's the clemency to the victim? Somebody may be dead. Somebody may be maimed permanently.
But for us, that is correct. But we'll say if
I get your point about
but if the perpetrator has not been that person,
yeah,
it has been someone else.
yeah.
Can you hang an innocent man? They say let 1,000 guilty men go free rather than hang one innocent man. You know.
I see. Right, here we go. We got many questions here. Somebody asking, what is the miscarriage in the case of the Yanasara terror? Leniency is clemency. Please trust the non-state actors too. Otherwise, it's that much more difficult. Is that about right? Now then, let's kind of move forward. Otherwise, we'll be talking about the past again. So there's some question mark as to what will happen, but you say that these court cases, there's no immunity to a president.
No.
But there's immunity for what he does while in office.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So he can only be charged later.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
at the time. Okay.
But he certainly can't release people on ongoing trials. He can't call for the case and release the.
That's just not
that's
not allowed.
That's not allowed.
Right. So he might find himself in trouble with people like Dapula de Oliveira and so on if he tries.
He cannot. I don't think only the Dapula can go in and enter nolle prosequi.
Oh, I see.
That is not proceeding.
Oh, I see.
That's the prerogative of the AG.
I see. Okay. So what do we need first? Is it national security or is it a national economic policy?
For us, 1, national security, 2, discipline, 3, economic policy.
Right.
Because I think after the April 21st incident,
Yeah.
this country and the people have paid very dearly for it.
Indeed.
Very dearly for it. And the other thing is the Muslim community in this country who was having an extremely good relationship with with all the rest have been completely isolated and placed on suspicion
Right.
because of this kind of acts.
Yeah.
So I feel whoever the candidate who comes into power, at all costs will have to maintain priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, national security. That has to happen, because otherwise for us, one thing is, this country was economically slowly recovering, but now it has been pushed into such a bad level that I don't know how far how soon it's going to recover. And over and above that, with the presidential election coming in, it has not made the bad situation better. It has made it worse.
Yeah.
So both candidates, or any candidate, or any president who is going to come into power, we will have to focus on national security and discipline in the country. Discipline is also badly lacking. For a country to develop, you need people to be disciplined, and therefore whoever comes as the president, all candidates will have to focus on this.
Good. And several more questions coming along, including one who wants to know whether I read every single one out. Of course not. Of course not. I get over 2 messages every minute, so I'm not going to.
I'll have to be sitting here the whole day answering the questions.
Exactly. No. You, I ask the questions. You help me, and I'll choose them. Okay. Right. So and I choose what is relevant to my program and the theme of the day. So now you have Sajid Premadasa, and ironically, both the mainstream candidates have their support base in non-urban areas. I mean rural areas, in the rural masses. They both kind of have their own thing. So are we set for we seem to be set for the mother of all elections. But honestly, what will Ranil allow President Premadasa to carry on with governance, or is he just going to be a puppet? Mr. Premadasa says that he's not going to be anyone's puppet.
He better not be.
Well, no, that'd be a great shock and dismay then.
He better not be.
Yeah. So, but we practically, okay, let's take a look at it. Whoever who wins, whether it is Premadasa or Senanayake or Rajapaksa or anybody else. I was about to say Naga, but he's knocked out, right? So whoever it is, right? Whoever it is.
Naga bolted.
Yes, or who's made to bolt. I don't know, but poor Naga. Right? Now then, let's see. What will happen to the Prime Minister and the Cabinet of Ministers? This is a point that is much debate. I was asked this in a 3-wheeler yesterday.
Yes. For us, whoever the president is, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe will be the Prime Minister till the next election.
To the next parliamentary election.
So maybe 6 months till, I think, 2020 June or July.
Yeah.
That's the only time, 6 months before.
Yeah.
The time of the election, parliament election, the president has the right to dissolve it.
Yeah.
So I would feel, even if Sajid Premadasa is the president, he will have to continue with Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe. If Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa becomes the president, he will have to continue with Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe as the prime minister. And even anyone else, Mahesh Senanayake, Anuradha Dissanayake.
But the constitution says that the president shall appoint the prime minister from parliament, the member of parliament, who can hold.
That is a new parliament.
Right.
This is a parliament which has been appointed previously.
Okay. But President Sirisena did the same.
And the court reversed the decision.
No, but I'm saying when he came in 2015.
Yes. But then the 19th Amendment was not in place.
Oh, so you're saying that this has all come about because of the 19th Amendment?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a bit pedantic, really. They've got no power until.
I won't say that they have no power. it is only a fact that
But this
they don't make use of the power. Now for us, for instance, there were the general thought was a governor did not have power.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have been in 2 provinces, and I have assumed power, and I've been able to perform a lot and do a lot in those 2 provinces for the short while I was there.
Yeah.
So it is the person who holds the position and how he commands and how he acts,
Yeah.
that the power is decided.
I was going to come back to you and ask you about your role and what you've been able to do. Like I've been asking you about what will the new president be able to do if he can't appoint his own prime minister. Looking at
basically for us, the president is the person who decides the policy for the country.
Right.
So once the policy has been decided, what he has to do is he has to make use of the cabinet to implement this policy.
Okay.
Right. So once the policy has been decided and if the president wants to implement it, all he has to do is to get the ministries and the ministers to implement it. So basically all the secretaries are appointed by the president to all ministries.
Right.
So the secretaries are the people who deliver and do most of the work, which has been assigned or which is the policy of the country. So therefore I can't see any reason for anyone to come and say that no, we have no power to do it. If that is the case, I say it is absolute incompetence.
Yeah. Viewers pointing out that I missed out some names. I did say Senanak as well.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I thought I did. So what I'm trying to say is the question is based on whoever wins the presidency is going to be stuck with this, with the same prime minister and
That's
cabinet.
Right. For about 6 months.
Right.
Till the parliament is dissolved, or till it finishes its term, and a fresh parliament is fresh parliament.
And when can the new president dissolve parliament? In February, is it?
No, I think
it's
for
6
us,
months before.
It's 6 months before.
Right.
So if it was held in August 2015, I think maybe by February, March, they should be able to dissolve.
Right. Okay. But the new president, under the 19th, the new incoming president, cannot hold any ministerial portfolios.
Yeah, that's what the Constitution says.
That's what the 19th says. Right. So that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
So that's coming back to my point that the new president is going to be like ceremonial.
For us, I would say that I mean, why should the president hold a cabinet portfolio? He is the Minister of Defence.
Right.
He is the Minister of Defence.
But not sitting in cabinet.
But he is the minister and he is the head of the cabinet.
Right.
So what I am saying is, for us, I think the president should play a supervisory role with regard to all the ministries.
Right.
And by doing that,
Yeah.
he can see to it that the ministries are functioning better.
Yeah.
And because the fact is, he appoints the secretaries.
Yeah.
And he can get the secretaries to do what is right.
Yeah.
Rather than letting the minister, take the ministry and not do anything. Now, for instance, you take the agriculture ministry under this Yahapalana government.
Yeah.
4.5 years or 4 years, there was absolutely nothing which took place in there from 2015. It was an extremely disappointing display.
The agriculture
minister, not only agriculture, many of the ministries.
Yeah. Well, the agriculture ministry is more famous for its renting of the building.
And various other things, like even getting the fertilizer, delaying to get the fertilizer at the proper time.
Yeah.
And then what happens is they have to go in for emergency purchases. When you go in for emergency purchases, you have to do away with tender procedure. So that brings in the various amounts of corruption. So therefore, for us, I feel that it is good that the president will assume a role of supervising all the ministries,
So-
supervising to see whether his policy has been implemented.
Right.
And he will know that his policy with regard to, will say, social welfare is being implemented. His policy with regard to irrigation is being
But
implemented.
what remedies are available to him if that particular minister is not doing a job?
If the particular minister is not doing the job, it is not the the minister, they say, is the conduit between the ministry and the cabinet.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
the word they have used is he's the peon which carries the message between the ministry and the cabinet.
Right.
So basically, the person who runs the ministry is the secretary. He's the trained animal to run the ministry.
Although that nowadays that's politicized as
That's
well.
right. That's right. So that is where the president
Yeah.
will have to come in and see that there are professional people who are going to run the ministries. And to any president, my advice is try to have 50% of the secretaries to ministries from the private sector, and the balance from the SLA services or whoever it is, because what I feel is the SLA services, it's a club, and they have not been able to perform all that well. So you need to have a mixture and have some kind of competition.
And if we can sort of touch on, we're been sort of focusing on, will the new president be able to get on with it for various reasons? The garbage, also known as the baggage surrounding both the mainstream candidates and so on. And so in the same context, can I ask you, normally governors are sort of nice material to grace any occasion. So running around cutting a ribbon here and adjusting a plaque here or there. But our information is that that's not what you've been doing.
No, Faraz, no.
You've tread on a few toes and you didn't seem to care.
I certainly don't care, because once I'm given an appointment, wherever it may be, I try to go the extra mile.
Right. So
to do my best.
You take the ball and run.
I take the ball and run, and I also want to deliver at the shortest possible time, because I think the people are sick of rhetoric and talk and not doing anything. But although I say it myself, I don't like to. In Kandy, I think I did in that short period, I was able to introduce many new things, bring the garbage under control, bring the posters under control, and I must say that when I went into work as governor, I had a different opinion with regard to the government servant, but everyone turned around. They were working extremely well.
Right.
And now in Uva, I find it that the public service, the government servants are extremely cooperative, they are productive, and they are working. So I feel for us, what is lacking in this country is leadership. I have told them, even in fact yesterday I had a meeting of all the government, the high ranking officials in the provincial council, because our provincial council was dissolved only last week.
Right.
Or it stood dissolved because it completed its 5 years. So I had a meeting yesterday and I told them that any act which is done in good faith, I will stand by it. Take decisions. Government servants, people in top positions must take decisions. They cannot be afraid of FCID or the Auditor General, because there are instances you have to take decisions, and if you delay decisions, it's going to cost the country dearly and the people. So therefore, I have told them, any decision which is taken in good faith, I will back it. Go ahead, take the decision and deliver results.
Right. Now then, somebody's wanting to know, what about your own role under a new president?
Well, if our appointment for us is for 5 years.
Right.
Once appointed, it is for 5 years.
Yeah.
But if the new president wants us to throw in the towel,
Yeah.
we will certainly do it. There is no doubt about it.
Right.
There is no doubt about it. But if anyone is serious of developing the province, and if there is an evaluation done,
Yeah.
if we are called upon to throw in the towel upon an evaluation,
Yeah.
then of course I don't think that that will have ever rise.
Lots of people asking about the agricultural ministry issue and so on, but we want to go on a little bit. What do you think? You've been governor in two regions, in two provinces, and what do you feel that central government must do to get the economy going?
For us, there are almost 15,000 Grama Sevaka divisions,
Right.
and we are a agricultural based country.
Yeah.
So we need to give maximum priority to agriculture.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, we need to go in for more production.
Right.
If we produce, we can turn everything around.
Okay.
What has happened is, our agricultural sector has gone from bad to worse.
Yeah.
We are a country which has rain and which has been blessed with so many waterfalls and rivers which run around the country. If we make use of this water resource, and if we start cultivating, we can be the supplier of the most amount of vegetables and fruits and other products to many of the surrounding countries in the Indian Ocean, emphasizing on countries in the Middle East.
Yeah.
For instance, we are in a sorry plight where we have to bring our potatoes from India, we have to bring our onions from India. We can produce them here.
Yeah.
When I was in the central province, for us, we had been producing onions. We have been cultivating, if I remember correct, 3,000 hectares. When I went there, it had come down to 250 to 300 hectares. I immediately increased it to 1,000 hectares as a short term.
It's a huge drop.
It's a huge drop. So what is happening is, for us now, take for instance the big onions.
Yeah.
They produce it in Sri Lanka. The farmer, and they were having a splendid time.
Right.
It was a golden era for the farmers in the Dambulla district.
Yeah.
So what happened was, when the farmers are harvesting their produce, our people still start continuing to bring the Indian Bombay onions. So then what happens is, they come and flood the market, and our farmers are put out of gear. So you need to look after the consumer as well as protect the producer. And the more you produce here, the more you do import substitution.
Right.
Now, for instance, if we are self-sufficient in milk, if we can bring our own milk, if we can make our own cheeses,
Yeah.
if we can make our own yogurts, we don't need to bring it from abroad. If we can, in the same way, our fruits, our potatoes, our onions, anything, you name it. Now, for instance, for us, when I was in the central province, bees honey
Yeah.
was imported from Australia,
Okay.
and some of it came from China.
Right.
So now, can't we produce bees honey here? I am talking of a very, very, very simple thing.
Yeah.
So if we go into, we'll say every Grama Sevaka division, one person doing bee cultivation,
Yeah.
beekeeping. I mean, he will be able to produce 15,000 Grama Sevaka divisions.
Yeah.
And we'll say if 15,000 Grama Sevaka divisions produce 4 to 5 bottles of bees honey, I mean, we supply our whole consumption of bees honey can be
But it doesn't mean to say that we need to stop imports, because that's all about choice.
No, that's about, we have to have imports. For us,
Yeah.
by no means am I saying don't import. But what I'm saying is, substitute the imports. You can increase the taxes on the imports.
Yeah.
But give our producer, give our farmer, because I think our farmer in the last 70 years has been completely thrown to the wolves. Our agriculture sector has gone from bad to worse. And furthermore, for us, the plantation companies, I think the Honorable Minister
Yeah.
will have to at least wake up at this late stage and take stock that our plantation companies, our tea prices for us has come down. Today the average is about 300 to 350 rupees.
Right.
Smallholders are coming and telling me that they are not going to pluck their tea fields because they are getting only 60 to 65 rupees for a kilo of tea. So
Right.
that is not productive. We are bringing tea from India. We are bringing tea from various other countries
Yeah.
at 350 rupees a kilo.
Is
We
this
have-
for blending or is it for
No,
sale?
they bring it saying that these are specialty teas, and what they do is they blend it with our teas and they send it abroad. So
But that's fraud.
this is absolute fraud.
Yeah.
This is absolute fraud. And the other thing is, for us now, you go to the market and you try to buy a packet of tea. 100 grams of tea is 150 rupees.
Right.
So therefore, a kilo of tea is sold at 1,500 rupees.
Yeah.
But at the auction,
Yeah.
at the tea auction, our tea fetches only 300 to 350 rupees a kilo. So this has happened to the tea industry, this has happened to the pepper industry, this has happened to the arecanut industry. So these three industries, the tea, the pepper and the arecanut industry, has been taken to the cleaners, because what is happening is, whatever said and done, there is some luck this country has. Without our tea, it is difficult to close a blend of tea
Yeah.
for the sale.
Yeah.
And most of them who do it, what they do is they say it's Sri Lanka tea. They blend it with other teas and say it's Sri Lanka tea.
Yeah.
Then even our pepper, the quality of our pepper is supposed to be very high, and it's very strong. Then our arecanut. Now all this for us, what they are doing is they are bringing it from Vietnam.
Yeah.
They are changing the country of origin from saying it's from Sri Lanka, and they are sending it as produce of Sri Lanka. So moment this happens, and the quality, there is a drop in quality, people are going to reject Sri Lankan goods. So the damage is irreparable and irreversible. So these are factors which this government and the Minister of Agriculture, no one has looked into it and tried to arrest it.
And is the way to encourage overseas expertise to invest in Sri Lanka, is the way forward by encouraging them, by giving them taxation benefits, or is it better to encourage them to come here because we have a solid labor force that can add greater value to them?
For us, I mean, with this solid labor force is a issue. I mean, I think our labor force is, I mean, in time to come, we may have to get labor from outside, because now the construction industry,
Yeah.
you take the construction industry, most of it is being done by outside labor force. So whether we can even run other businesses, like even the hotel industry, I wonder whether you can do it with our people, because our people are not disciplined. That's what I said at the very inception,
Yeah.
that they need to be disciplined, and because there are too many holidays in this country, and I think out of the 365 days we work only about 150, 175 days. So that's not a very good record for development. So we need to crack all those. All these candidates, or the president, the future presidents of this country,
Yeah.
will have to seriously consider
Yeah.
in looking at this in a different manner.
Good. Well, are you looking forward to the future, November 16th
There is no
and
option.
beyond?
There is no option. We have to look forward.
We're just stuck.
Yes.
But
we,
are
are
you-
just-
but-
we are only
But you-
hoping
you-
and praying that it will be
but
better.
do you have hope that it will be better?
I hope. I always hope that things should be better in the future. It can't be any worse.
It can't get any worse.
It can't get any worse.
The growth's 1.3%.
So it has to at least go on to about 6 to 7% for us to be happy.
All right. Thank you very much,
you,
Mighty Gunaratna.
Thank you for us. It was great to be on the show after a long time.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming all the way up from the
Thank you very much.
Uva.
Thank you very much.
And we'll visit you up there and see what you're doing.
You're only promising, but you're never
We will bring the cameras. we will ask
For us, I think
our cameraman Veere to come with us.
I think you should do it, because in Badulla, in 2 months, I have been able to completely. I was been able to reduce the garbage dump by 50%. And when I went into Badulla, the whole town was stinking of the garbage dump. I've been able to stop that. And if you won't believe it, all the water, when it rains, from the garbage dump used to be sent into the Badulla, the river which flows next to the town, and polluting the water. So I've been able to stop that also.
Oh, well, in that case, if you sound making it sound so good that it's my maternal home, so perhaps I'll come back to Badul and live there.
If you can come end of this month, we're having the National Sports Festival in Badul.
If you're still the governor,
yeah, I will.
I
am 100% sure till the 17th of May, 17th of November, I will be governor, because Elections Commission has said that you can't change or remove anyone.
Oh, there you go. Security of office for the governors. There you go. Thank you very much. And that's the way it was on Newsline. Do keep sending us your questions. We will take them up at some point. And that's the way it was. Take care. Have a wonderful and safe day. And of course, God bless.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.